in the next episode of getting old and trying to optimize our health, saunas, infrared saunas specifically. All right, welcome back to the channel. The channel's a little all over the place, so just stick around for the ride. But today we're going to take a look at the Saunabox Pulse Pro. It is a kind of portable sauna. I have the luxury of having a modest home gym, right? First world problems. And I had been trying to figure out how to put a sauna, ultimately a cold plunge, in the area. So the sauna is actually going to go right there. I took a look at a couple different portable saunas. This one seemed to give me all of the features that I wanted. I did get this on Black Friday sale, so I got a pretty good deal on it. Came with this cleaning kit also as part of the Black Friday and some, I think, couple $100 off. I did reach out to the Saunabox folks to see if maybe they would send me one to give a shot and put in a video. Never heard back from them. I don't blame them. It's a small channel, probably not as far of a reach as they would like. But at any rate, this has the Pulse Pro comes with the red lights. Read up on the research. Sauna benefits. I really am looking for those benefits, the human growth hormone benefits, etc. All the good things, getting those toxins out of your body associated with saunas, as well as the red light therapy at the same time. So 660 nanometers of red light. Comes with this 2 bars. So we're going to open this up. I'm going to unbox it, show you what it looks like boxed. It's pretty heavy. I would say it's about, the box is about 4 by 2 feet, and I would say it's probably about 30 pounds. So we'll take a look at the quality of it. There's a bunch of other videos of people sitting in the sauna, giving you feedback on it. I really just want to show you kind of the size for space. If you are limited in space like I am, right? This is what we got for space. And just kind of some of the quality of it, right? If you're going to spend the money on something that's portable, it's going to fall apart if you move it a couple times. What's it look like when you don't have the ability to have more of a permanent and much more expensive sauna? So let's unbox this. I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to do some fast forwarding more than likely, and then I'll give you some thoughts. All right, first say hello to Bob. Bob usually gets punched in the face every day. All right, let's do this one-handed. We're going to get the old Kershaw leak out. It's been a while, and let's open this box, see what's in there. First, this is the free cleaning kit that came with the Black Friday special. So I think it's just, that's kind of funny, actually. So we have a empty bottle, and we have what looks like a citrus cleaner. Kind of looks like, if I had to guess, some citrus-based cleaner. Yeah. I don't know that I would have purchased that. The price for this online, if you were to buy it and it wasn't free, $39.99, which is a little wild to me. So, right out of the gate, thanks for the free Black Friday gift that's normally $39.99, but I don't know that I would pay that much for that. That's kind of wild. So, okay, we'll set that out of the way. All right. The box opens at the top. So we gotta get started. QR code, my guess is that will walk us through all of the setup, and we'll hit on that, but let me show you what it looks like. As you unbox things, we got a owner's manual, and then we have what looks like almost like a carry kit or a storage bag for probably the actual exterior of the sauna. We got one long box that goes down. Only one of these in here, so I'm guessing both of the red lights are in here. And again, there are 2 versions of this. There is the Pro version, which comes with the red light, and that's a few $100s more if I remember correctly. And then there is the regular version, which does not include the red lights, which is a little less. So if you're looking for something that is not red light and you don't need that, you can save a few bucks. This is a nice kind of heavy-duty rubberized mat on the bottom. I'm guessing this either goes underneath or inside. Let's see what it says here. Sweat lock floor mat. So it's a little bit like a fuzzy material on the outside of it, and then under it is rubberized. So we'll see how that stands up to things. Oh, that's a little heavier. Oh, we're gonna need 2 hands for that, possibly. I don't know, we may muscle it out. There we go. All right, the bag I was telling you about. carry handle. I'm guessing this is the exterior of it. Set that down for a second. Let's get this heavy box out. The other item in there. Actually, I'm gonna do that last. Here is the wooden bench that comes with it, which is wood, and then it looks like a canvas material here. Let's get that out of there, one-hander it. Let's see what this looks like. It is, yeah, a canvas material, and then underneath it looks like it's helps with the waterproof, or I'm guessing with the sweat, helps keep it under control. Not terrible. Nice. I like that better than some of the what looks like your fold-up chairs that you get at Walmart with some of the kits that you get. So I kind of like the wood and that a little bit better. It makes it look a little bit classier, I'll say. Get this thing out of here. No idea what that is. So let's open stuff up. All right, so the heavy box has a couple of bags in there with some parts. Don't know what those are yet. And then it has 6 of these panels that have a protective paper over them. This one has it on part of it, I guess. Not completely on it, or it's peeled off, which is, I guess, kind of concerning from a quality perspective. And then this side, I don't know if there's a, doesn't feel like there's a protective coating on the outside, but it's a silver with like a yellow edge around it, assuming that these panels get electricity and this is what heats up the sauna, if I'm guessing correctly. And I'm totally guessing because I haven't watched any of the actual setup videos and what's generating the IR heat. But there's 6 of these. You can see that there's some type of wire inside. We'll see how that works once it gets set up. But there's 6 of those in that box. Yeah, kind of interesting, the packaging and how some of the protective coating is not really on some of them. So we'll see from a quality perspective, was this worth $800 that was spent out of my own pocket? All right, let's take a look at what's in this bag. Yeah, so this is the coating. What I did like about this was that they claim that it is low EMF, right? And so there's other videos that measure the actual electromagnetic frequency that's coming out of the panels and you're sitting in when you're sitting in the sauna. Obviously, you don't want to bombard yourself with EMF, even though you're being bombarded with it all day from other devices. But if you can reduce that, great. It's also, this is Oeko-Tex certified, so they're the toxins that are in a lot of materials, whether it's glue or the material itself, certified to have either low or no chemicals and toxins, so you're not sitting in this basically baking any of those materials or odors into you and inhaling those as you're sitting in a 160 degree sauna, sweating it out. So those were kind of 2 of the main things I was looking for as far as features, other than the red light and the sauna, to be able to get up to a certain temperature and the ability to have it portable, take it down, etc. Those are a lot of the things I looked for in this product. And that's why I went with this product versus some of the others that were out there. So it's packaged well. There's a little, pocket in here. I like that this is a quilted material. You've seen it probably some of my other rooftop tent videos that I have on the channel. It feels like the last Free Spirit rooftop tent quilting on it almost. So, hopefully it'll have some thermal properties or insulating properties as you're setting it up. But start setting it up, see what happens. Okay, inside of that, we have basically tent stakes, it feels like. Another bag with what you need to put together for the frame. So these bundles are all zip tied together. Each of the bundles are, and then they have kind of your hubs in here. So it is really like kind of setting up a tent. So let's clip these. All right, so these hubs are all plastic, and each of the poles themselves feel like they're aluminum. I don't believe they're like a composite or a plastic. They feel like they're aluminum. If I had to guess, they're very lightweight. That's gonna be the weak point right there, those plastic hubs. So we'll see if you're doing a lot of moving this around, taking it up, taking it down. We'll see. That's where you're gonna have issues with cracks in those and stress, but long-term use. It also depends on how hard you are on things. But all right, let's walk through putting this together. So in the 2 bags that we had in the box, we have the plug to plug it in, which has a breaker built into it to be able to obviously test, turn it on, and if you have an issue with your electricity, not burn anything down. And then we have a hub with all these connectors that are wide off that connect to those panels, the IR panels that we talked about earlier. So that is how this heats up. Those panels are what provides the heat. I wasn't sure about that. Now I am. Okay, what else do we got in here? This is what plugs into that hub and then into the power cable. And then we have here what looks like a thermometer. I'm guessing this passes through into the actual sauna itself from the outside. This portion is supposed to sit outside. So again, the low EMFs, this is outside of the sauna itself, so it's not in there with you. Then we have a remote and a mount for the remote that comes with it. So what I saw in some of the other videos is that you have to use this remote to turn it on and off. So make sure you know where this is at. Okay, so basically you have two of these a large and a small, I don't know what that's called, 5-pointed things, right? So I have a large and a small. Large is for the floor, small goes at the top. And the large seems like it's got a good amount of space, so hopefully it fits in this area and is usable, but we're gonna make it work. All right, next you get 5 long poles basically and 5 shorter poles. So you're just building a tent. All right, now you have, okay, middle, right? And so this is basically tapers up to the top, right? So it gets a little bit narrower as it goes up. So next. All right, so the instructions aren't great, but you have a long side here in the middle and a short side. And so I had it installed what feels like the wrong way the first time. Looks like the longer side needs to go down, shorter, smaller end up. Seems to fit better that way, but we'll find out when we get it all together. All right, instructions aren't great. I did not look at the QR code. I'm looking at the regular manual. Just says basically put it together, set up the frame. It's all good. Probably my fault for not looking at the QR. I'm sure there's a video for it, but whatever, it's set up. We'll see how it goes. What I would like to point out is that there are bungees inside each of these hubs, like if you're familiar with a tent, so it folds down, right? The bungees don't fully extract out of the place where you put the poles. So I'm not sure if that's going to cause an issue with things being out of whack, like if one of these poles is up higher than it needs to be because it can't get flush because that elastic cord is not down all the way. So we'll see how that is. It does also have what looks like as it's together, it has a slight slant backwards, and I'm guessing that's by design. I'm 6'2", I guess, on a good day, and this is a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. So let me show you how tall it is at its peak. So 59 inches, and then at its widest point at the base, it is about 49 inches right now, and then at the top, the widest is about 40 inches. You can get kind of, I only have about probably a foot up above it, so that's good for me because I didn't want one of those smaller ones where you have to squat in it. So I should be able to sit in here comfortably and enjoy it. So let's put the rest together. Let me see how the rest of these instructions look. All right, look, I'm a little slow, but these directions are dog, you know what, poop. Don't put the tub floor down first. What you got to do is weave this thing around like a crazy person, and then there's your initial step. That tub liner goes down next at some point, and the Velcro should line up here, and there's some little loops that you put the toggles in down here in each corner. Don't do like me. I would assume you put the tub in first and then have some way of layering it. You don't got to do that. The instructions don't tell you that, so here we are. All right, it's tight. These corners are tight. These little pull tabs that you have, these green pull tabs on here, they get stuck. The inside one gets stuck on these poles, these vertical poles. on the inside, so you're trying to zip it, and they're stuck behind it, so you're gonna have to hand weave those through. This top one right here, I'm a little concerned because it's super tight, and I have a feeling it's because of that elastic, that shock cord that didn't seat fully, and I'm pretty sure it was on this one, but I got a tight squeeze here that I don't want to tear this zipper, but I suspect that's what happened. So we're gonna see if we can get it as tight as possible and not damage the zipper, but bro, it's tight. All right, we got it, but that's stressed right there. That is the design with that toggle and that shock cord. That's not giving it the full seating fully in that tent stake hub. It is a tight fit. The material feels pretty good. It feels pretty quality. It's a very super tight fit, which is good. And I'm seeing as I look in here, it looks like, here we are, for each of the panels, and I'll show you here in a second, you have a reflective thing behind them. They actually Velcro at the bottom, so the panels go in these reflective hubs here. They Velcro at the bottom, so those panels are going to slide up in there. It's got a reflective material on the back of it to help, I'm guessing, either protect it from heat and or reflect heat back to you. You have a pass-through for the cord right there, which is nice. And then you have a pocket up here. I'm assuming you could put the remote in there. And then we haven't done the window yet. The window is just this piece of plastic basically that Velcros on. I'll be honest, it's a little cheap. It feels a little cheap, but here we are. All right, let's get this tub in. So as I'm trying to figure this out, you got these toggles on here, right? I have this Velcro. You got to turn it inside out. So the Velcro, basically it sits as a tub, and these toggles go inside the Velcro, and you don't see them on the inside of the sauna itself. So they're tucked away based on what the floor looks like. So I guess that's good. So you don't have a bunch of stuff out there collecting sweat. So you see these toggles. There's a loop to attach those toggles in. You see this is the Velcro where this Velcro attaches to for the tub floor. There's a little loop on the cover that's right behind this hub. Those loops need to be placed. If you want to use these toggles, they really need to be easily accessible. They're really not. I'll be honest with you, I'm not using those because I can't get that attached to this little loop that we have behind to attach to the cover. So I'm just Velcroing it, but you can work that design a little bit better. Window, again, just Velcro. It's a piece of plastic. All right, again, see that extra there? Right there? That's not cut perfect. So you have all this extra material, even after I try to tighten it up. It's all right. Again, it's just, I guess I would expect it to be like a more precise fit. So these do go in those panels that I was showing you. You got to peel this stuff off. Some of them are already peeled off as you get them, so that's cool. It goes in those panels with the black facing inside and the metal and the wiring all facing the back exterior of your sauna. So they just slide right in. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so cables are connected. You're basically, center cable goes out that back. Don't be like me and do this in reverse. You have a shorter side here because that main cable goes out through that opening, and a longer side on this side. And of course, again, instructions. I guess you got to use a little bit of common sense, which I'm lacking, but I screwed it all together, put them all on opposite way, had extra, and then said, okay, that shorter side needs to be there. So pay attention to that. What it doesn't tell you in the instructions, again, I don't know if the video does from the QR code, but the instruction manual just says connect these. Now, I'm not going to leave these out with sweat on them, so I assume you tuck them behind the Velcro and under the floor. I'm making that assumption, but it certainly doesn't tell you that. Again, common sense, I lack it, but I would assume you're going to hide those back behind the Velcro and in that space that runs around the floor edge. But I don't know. All right, so I unvelcroed everything and tucked all of those hub cables behind the Velcro, which I'm assuming that's what you're supposed to do. But again, trash instructions, and it all feels very, how do I say this politely? It all feels very Alibaba-ish to include some of the material in the fitment. Red light therapy. 2 red lights that come in the box. We've got another set of wires that I'm gonna have to run behind this Velcro. I have a suspicion. And a inline remote to the wire. So I don't know if that's going to sit inside or outside yet, that remote. And then you have 4 clips and some zip ties that come with it. I'm guessing to attach those to the posts. You got a set of eyeglasses or eye covers for it. And you got a little instruction manual. I don't know that I'm going to use this instruction manual because I don't know if it's going to help. I have a feeling we're going to be winging this. So let's install these. All right, they're packaged nice at least. They do have coating over the lens of them, clips that they attach with, zip ties, 2 smaller clips that I'm assuming with a hole in the back of them that you need to zip tie through. This part clips to the pole. This part you clip your light into. You can place them on any of the 5 poles that they have. I'm going to put them on the front so it's hitting me while I'm sitting down in there. So here's the thing I'm thinking about while I'm doing this is we've got the Oeko-Tex, assurance that it's not, going to have any chemicals, etc. in there. But then you see little things like this, like rubber on the ends of these pieces of metal. And you're like, okay, what happens when that gets in 160 degrees? Is there something that's going to off gas from that? And I'm sure there's going to have plenty of other things that happen like that. You can't do everything, but is the plastic on these going to off gas once it gets hot? Yes, it sounds like this material here is what they say is Oeko-Tex. I don't know. I probably need to look at it a little more, but some of the other parts, you do have exposed, rubber plastic that is used in these parts that's in there that's exposed. So I don't know how much that'll off gas at a temperature. So yeah. All right. So as expected with the lights, you got a bunch of extra cords here, and I'm going to put it all underneath the Velcro again to hide it because I assume you don't want that out getting sweat all over it, and I don't want to look at it. If you're going to move these lights around to other posts, right, then you're going to have to bring up the Velcro around it to attach it to the other posts. And I can tell you I'm not doing that. Mostly because I'm lazy, but also because it's a pain in the butt. And I would use the A word, but I don't want to get censored on this. So let's tuck some more. All right, here we go. Saunabox together. I don't know. I guess you just leave that controls for the lights and a separate plug just hanging down there. There's nothing to put it in. It's connected. It's not a wireless remote like the rest of the sauna is. So I guess you just leave it down there or put it on the bench, and then I guess it's all right with the sauna. Like I said, this all seems not well thought out. The wire management. I don't want to be stepping on wires if I'm in here barefoot. I don't want to deal with that. So I don't know how happy I am with that. Oh look, pocket in the front. All right, guys, there you have it. So that video is probably a little longer than it needed to be, but I don't know that anybody's shown anyone how to actually set it up. And the manual definitely doesn't do it. Other videos I've seen on YouTube don't actually walk you through the details of that. They just show you the testing of the IR sauna and the red light, which is perfectly good because that's what you're buying it for. But I don't know about the quality. Again, I'm trying to be respectful, but it feels very Alibaba-ish, if you know what I'm saying. Like it doesn't fit well together, some of the items. I don't know if $800 on Black Friday is the price point I would recommend this based on just seeing it. Now I have not tested it to see, the qualities. Again, I'm looking for the health benefits of using the sauna and the red light. So I don't know how well that works yet. But I'll follow up with a video on that or any questions that you all may have. I don't think that I would, $800 on Black Friday, saving a few $100s. I certainly would not pay the full price for this. I don't know that the quality is there or the design thoughtfulness of it and kind of how the stuff fits together. I don't think I would pay, again, the Black Friday price with a couple of $100s off. I think if I were to say what might be an acceptable price point to me, I would say probably closer to the $400 or $500 range based on just what I'm seeing here. Again, your mileage may vary. You may find that as a great price based on what a regular, you know, permanent sauna would look like. But I just think that there's probably some design that could be maybe a little bit refined in this. I don't know if this is like their version 1. Saunabox, if you're listening, I'm more than happy to help you work on tightening up the design a little bit more for an end user. So thanks for sticking around. A little bit longer video than I had anticipated. I hope that maybe you found this beneficial if you're trying to consider purchasing a Saunabox, the Pulse Pro, and you're trying to set it up. Hopefully you can use this video to kind of help guide you through some of those things. And thanks for sticking around. Take care.